bug.
All right, here's a note. Kansas State is the only team over the last 30 years with a winning road record against Oklahoma, minimum of at least 2 games played. They're now 6-5 in Norman. 6-5 in Norman, and some of those games were against really good Oklahoma teams. 6-5 in Norman, including the win 41-34 as Martinez had. I'm not putting him in that conversation. That performance was Heisman-like, and they've already played a game. He wasn't against Tulane. It wasn't even early on. That just like exploded for him. And for a young man that used to always have that deadly mistake, I just noticed he was protecting the football better. Whether he can do it week in and week out, I don't know.
Yeah, Craig, we kind of whiffed on that one. We said, can Oklahoma's offense on their worst day not score as many points as Kansas State? We all kind of said no, and that can. I mean, Kansas State can do that, but Adrian Martinez took the super soldier serum or something the other night because he was unbelievable.
Well, K-State managed to beat Oklahoma. Pretty much the only way that Kansas State could beat Oklahoma was with a huge Adrian Martinez running game because he wasn't going to do it throwing the ball. And barring you letting Deuce Vaughn run for 250 yards and 4 scores, he wasn't going to do it by himself. So how are they going to do it? How are they going to do it? How are they going to score points? Because, it's Deuce Vaughn or bust pretty much this entire year. And now you finally, you see why people thought in the preseason, Adrian Martinez at Kansas State, with his running ability, if they can just get him to limit some of the mistakes, wasn't that the entire conversation?
Absolutely.
All was if they can just limit some of the crazy, dumb stuff that he can do from time to time that can cost you a game, he's pretty good. Like, he's a pretty good athlete. He can definitely run. And so, going into that game, I just assumed that Brent Venables and Oklahoma's defense wasn't going to allow him to just run wild on them, knowing that, hey, bottle up Deuce as best you can, and then just don't let Martinez go crazy, and you're going to win this game because they don't have a whole lot of other options to hit you with. And,
he did throw for 234 on top of the 148 yards of the ground and a touchdown. But the thing, he did not throw a pick. He did not fumble the football. He did not create the missed opportunities. He hit on almost everything. Now, is that Kansas State from what we saw Saturday night in Norman going forward? This conference is not wide open because Texas and Oklahoma lost. I heard that a lot late Saturday night. It's not wide open because those two lost. It's wide open because, it may take a while before anyone separates. We'll find part of that separation maybe on Saturday, Oklahoma State in Waco.
Yeah, I mean, it's also easier to throw the ball when you're running for 150 yards by yourself. I mean, he went crazy, and that was a great game by Martinez and a great game by Kansas State, and they just seemed to have Oklahoma's number. But, I thought they would have, done a better job in limiting him after a while, and he just went nuts. And that was an Oklahoma offense that was suffering from Gabriel misfires, and also just the fact that, hey, all of a sudden you get one area of your offense shut down or keyed in on, and you're all of a sudden it's not allowed to basically do what you want to do at a fast pace. We've seen that here in Waco when that offense kind of gets limited to, being a little bit more one-dimensional, how fast that can go from fast to flat tire. And I think we saw some of that on Saturday with, Gabriel not being totally sharp and just that offense not clicking the way that you thought it was going to.
They were multiple. He had 330. They ran for 220, but they just ran in between the 20s. Oklahoma did, it seemed like to me.
There's also a lot of penalties. They had a ton of penalties that cut drives, and that's kind of what I'm getting at is when you're running that offense, if there's a little thing that goes wrong, it's not quite – as operating on full cylinders. And I think they saw one of the bad sides to that style of offense is you can get a lot of penalties, especially false starts and things of that nature. And that certainly was, something that hurt them on Saturday night. But, give a lot of credit to K-State for their game plan and just, being the better team.
All right. Like Donnell said, Adrian Martinez went super cyan on Oklahoma. Yep. There was a comment or